Lil Wayne. I said little. Lil Wayne says Jay-Z inspired him to stop writing. Take a listen. Things happen in all these different situations with rappers and being influenced by other rappers. I get it. We get it. But what's one really to do when it ain't working for you? Now that's subjective. It's subjective what I'm saying.
I know they say he never wrote. He don't write. He don't write nothing. Did that inspire you?
When I heard that, the moment I heard it, I stopped. You can ask me what. The moment I heard that nigga Jay-Z don't write no more. Right, just like that. We went in the studio, Raj Smooth Studio, and we did 10,000 bars, and that was the last time I rapped anything off of a paper. Yeah.
Stop it. Start it there and stop it. Lil Wayne, with all respect, got some good songs out there. Got some classic songs out there. I tell you that Carter, when I first heard them Carter starting to drop, that's when I knew Lil Wayne was on to something. Not to mention he had to hold down Cash Money mostly on his own. Because Juvie was gone. Hot Boys breaking up. BG locked up. Turk, everybody. So much friction with the whole label and camp and everything and Cash Money at the times. And Lil Wayne had to just find himself and just flourish. And basically hold the label on his back, if you ask me. And notably, when them Carters started dropping, he was getting it on. Heavy. And the potential was definitely there. So when you hear a story like this, that around the mid-2000s or so, when you have a Lil Wayne who's damn near on top, not to mention his mixtapes, so much material was just dropping. Because let's just be honest, sometimes you can tell when a rapper is freestyling or when they wrote something down. You can hear it. Now you do have artists like Jay-Z that's more detailed, and he even had, well, I definitely could say me, but some people puzzle, was that shit even real when he said that he didn't write raps? I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard that Jay-Z don't write lyrics, I didn't believe that shit. I'm like, hell, fuck no. Y'all can't tell me he don't write lyrics. But then you start hearing so many people really, really talk about it and say, nah, I done been in the studio. He don't fucking write lyrics. Like he just nod his head to the beat and create the story and go in a booth and spit that shit. Now I can freestyle. Like a lot of these poems I do, they be I guess we can't just put it out there. Talent is talent. Don't get me wrong. Talent is talent. But the way Jay-Z paint pictures and stories and shit like that, when I first heard that he don't write no more, I didn't believe that shit. I was like, you could not tell me with all these details and metaphors and double entendres and whatnot and current events and all these different details in these lyrics and sentences that this man does not write. I was like, fuck no, y'all gotta be kidding me. But it worked out to his advantage. And sometimes, which I did hear in a video with Jay-Z explaining how he started not writing raps. When I recall correctly, in the interview I heard, he was saying that he used to move around so much, you know, his traveling and whatnot. He was saying he was starting to lose time to write, and that he would memorize certain lines and rhymes, and that's how to start. Then he said after a while, it just became a pattern, a learning habit of just remembering different lines as he just was moving around. So he put it in song. But there's still a talent and detail when you get in that booth, when you have to put all those lines together, no matter how many lines you thought of, when you have to put that shit together over beat and in the studio without paper, without looking at words, one take, maybe two. That's powerful. You can influence a whole culture. And Lil Wayne admits on the latest episode of the Pivot podcast that when he heard Jay don't write, that's when he stopped writing. Again, one can argue that Lil Wayne should have kept writing. Some believe some of that shit was trash. It was a little redundant. It was a little too much. When I say too much, you could tell the freestyle. It's a laziness that comes with it. Some believe in more quantity than the quality. You see that a lot on YouTube. You see that a lot in just content creating, period. People want to just do more instead of bringing you quality. They want to just bring you more because of numbers. We all can fall into the trap of that game. And some feel the more the better. That's like with songs and streams. Like I told you over and over plenty times that we live in a world where numbers matter. So when numbers play a factor, people tune in. You just think if you got more songs, the more songs you make, the more of an opportunity you can get to be heard. Or the more videos you make, the more of an opportunity you can have to be seen. That's the way this thing goes. That's the way it works. That's just simple math and entertainment. So when it do comes to an artist like Lil Wayne, did it really work for him? That's the question. I remember that song, A Million. And that was a real big hit. And I admit, as much as I respect Lil Wayne and I knew the movement, the guest appearances, the run he had, you know, this before he got incarcerated. And I will admit, it's a lot of Lil Waynes running out there. He got some children, he got some kids out there, as far as rappers and style and people who ran with his style, the whole dreadhead look and just borderline hippie look. That's Lil Wayne. That's a lot of Lil Waynes out there. I'll give him that. When that A Milli dropped, that was a real big song, but that shit was irritating as fuck. I'm just calling it on my ear. Like I said again, respect to his career and whatever, but that A Milli, that beat, oh my God. That was Zombie Land. I mean, I'm just speaking for me and the point of view. And that's what this shit is about. Speak your piece. When you put your art out there, it ain't yours no more. So artists, don't be sensitive when somebody don't like your shit. It's okay. Everybody's not gonna like your shit. Everybody might not like these videos, these commentary, the structure, everything, all that. It is what it is. But again, when artists tune in to do things that they see other people doing, what works for somebody else may not work for you. That's what people have to understand. The way this person creative process may work, may not work for you. Just because this man freestyled and do this or have this on stage, like some people have stage and props and background dancers and all that. 50 million dancers in a big old band. Some people can do it better than others. Find your lane. Find what works for you in the process of when you create. It's just news you can use, hip hop news, trending news. Because in this recent interview with Lil Wayne says that Jay-Z inspired him to stop writing. It makes me think of how many other rappers that came and went that said the same thing. Some be doing that shit. You'll be surprised how many people just get high and make songs and just release that shit, do that shit. And just waiting for that one just to hit. Again, we're going back to that world of just people creating out of a sense of urgency. Because the attention span be so short of just the consumers, the people that's out there. It's a life of scarcity that a lot of us living in now, especially as content creators and rappers and musicians, comedians, poets, whoever. Because everybody is on to the next. How loyal is the consumer? That's a whole other topic and episode within itself. How loyal is the consumers? I said it before, and we talked about it multiple times. How quick we forget about these albums and songs. Even the last couple little Lil Wayne albums didn't even hit like that. Especially that one when he first dropped when he got out of jail. I can't even think of the name of it. Lil Wayne can rap, but musically he is in a, I want to say a rut, but a slump to where he's in a situation to where a new Lil Wayne song probably is questionable. Like, do it really matter? Of course, he can always tour and off the old classics and all that, of course. That's what most of these rappers should just stick to, especially the ones that's over 40. I mean, it's only a select few that can still get away with just still dropping new music and the streets really want to hear it. That's why you had these old school Return of Legends tours and all these older rappers still getting bag off the old songs, which I agree with, which I want them to do. If you got classics, live off your classics. Don't mess up your legacy. Trying to keep up with the young or trying to build a new audience and compete with the younger generation. If you already got hits, you already got a following. We really don't need the new. We don't need the new song. Especially if you accomplish. If you accomplish, let it be. Live in there. Bow gracefully. I'm not telling you to be humble. I'm not telling you that. Because your confidence can still be there. I get it. I see it often. I hear it often. We hear it often. We see it often. somebody get in the news or talk about they making an album and you haven't heard from them in over 10 years or 5 years or whatever. I don't be understanding what be making people think that that artist still got it. You ain't heard from them in 10 years, 15 years, but it make headlines that such and such is about to make an album, that they about to. What make you have faith in that? You haven't heard from them. I mean, it sound good and look good on paper, but you haven't heard shit from that rapper in over 10, 15 years. Wait till a song come out, then we talk about it. Don't feed me no bait with no headlines and talk about somebody about to come with something, drop something. And us as fans and people who study music, they should be smart enough not to fall for that bait. I don't get it. That's any art form. I mean, comedy, anything. That's like if they told you right now, Eddie Murphy about to go on tour. Don't get me wrong, it'll be a thing to see, but Eddie Murphy ain't been on the stage in then it's what 20 years. Probably more than that. Who's gonna be the crash test dummies just to buy the seats just off the name? That's basically what we doing. We just going off the name. And a lot of people do get fooled by it. You never seen this man on the show and nothing. But since it's him, let's go. You hear it all the time, artists come out of jail. They about to drop an album. It's supposed to be some type of anticipation. Just because we haven't heard from them. Will make you think they about to pop in. They ain't did shit in 10 years. And that Lil Wayne album was an example of that. Like I said, I can't even think of the name of it. I want to say he dropped 2 albums. I want to say he released 2 albums after he had been released. And at this very moment, as I make this video, I can't even think of no song, no titles, nothing to repeat. In a world where we move on quickly, after hearing or seeing one create. So what's the solution? You know how we do around here. Poetry and conversation. We have to revert it back to some type of solution. We can complain. But what's the solution when it comes to creating these artists in an industry where somebody's seeing people doing something that worked for them, thinking it can work for you? It's about experience. It's about knowing where you at in your career to even take that risk. Obviously, Lil Wayne was on his high horse and he just thought to himself, I got these people so good in the knot, fuck it. I'm about to start this freestyle, not write no more. That's where he was at with it. He had that moment. He thought to himself, fuck it, I ain't even about to write no. Artists take chances. We live off risks. We live off the experience of trying to challenge ourselves, whether for better or for worse, if it work or not. It's a chance you take. But it's all respect to that man. I understand. There's a lot of rappers out there that I can think of that had so much potential that probably took that same route. A lot of times I think about Corrupt from the Dog Pound. I always thought he had a lot of potential. I thought he was destined to be one of the greats. Early in his career, I listened to his wordplay. I listened to his lyrics. Dog Food's still one of my favorite albums of all time. Anything Corrupt jumped on, he was just poetically just raw and just putting words together. And you can tell he was real intricate in his details and the writing skills. But as time went on, I could just tell he just stopped giving a fuck. I could tell. You could just hear it in the vocal. It was bitch, 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 bitch. Bitch, you more of a bitch than a bitch. All types of shit. Corrupt. I just started listening like, what the fuck is Corrupt talking about, man? Like, is he that drunk? Is he that high? Or is he having that much fun? Is he bitch nigga? You more of a bitch than a bitch. I used to be just listening like, what the fuck is Corrupt talking about, man? Like dog was cold. I'm like, man, it's like he just freestyling now. Like he just high something. He just amongst the greats with the people, and he just indulging in too much. A lot of rappers did it. Get comfortable. Not to mention all them guest appearances. Now, don't get me wrong, I can understand if it's a moment in time here and there. You just might just slip up just a little bit. You might throw something out there. Just see if it sticks. Because sometimes that happens too, just in art and creating, period. You might take it so serious and think that, okay, just because I touched this up so good, this gonna be the one. Like this gonna be that shit that they gonna fuck with, they gonna like it and whatever. And you'll look up, that'll be a dub. And sometimes it just goes in reverse. Like they say, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. That was the acronym for that. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Because sometimes things you could just keep it just simple and just it connects with the people. Because it goes with the time and it goes with the moment. It depends on what it is. If it parallel to work by being simple, you can get away with it. You can do it. Sometimes you can overthink it, and as artists, they be thinking, like, okay, well, and it don't stick, it don't hit, it don't connect. The masses reject it, or just don't go over well. That's like content videos. There's been videos I done did. I be thinking like, man, I said, or I could think like, okay, well, man, I did some video. I said some good shit in that, or damn, I hope that one connect. That one need to be heard, you know, and it can be full of detail. Or I could just take myself out the equation. I can watch somebody else content and be like, damn, that was powerful. That was like, okay, like, damn, he said some shit. And they ain't got nothing but like about 2,000 views. But if they jump on some other shit and get messy, they be having 80,000 plus views or something. And I'm talking about other people. I ain't talking about me or what I'm working with. But just sometime in art form like that, sometimes you could think you connecting and you this may not be. That's the way art works. That's the way product and services work. It can be a restaurant in your neighborhood, got the best food. They have a good run for a couple of months. Clientele bumping. They know they're doing so good. Next thing you know, they're trying to change up the menu because they done did so good. And let me try to save a couple of dollars right here with this sugar or whatnot. Let's switch this up. Even though we are doing good, let's try to cut some costs, but still maintain. You make them adjustments. It go one or two ways. Either you gain some more customers or you lose some customers. Because you knew that you made that change trying to cut costs but still get it done. You can go up or down. It could be more people like that macaroni, and some people ain't fucking with it no more because they done switched up the formula and they switched up the taste. It ain't got that same kick to it no more. We on to the next spot. We on to the next restaurant. They opening up nappy cuts across the street. We about to go fuck with them. We ain't fucking with you no more. We on to the next shit. That's business. And that's why we live in a world where people create more. There's this abundance of people that's still out there who ain't even tapped into you yet. Or to us yet. But when they do catch on, what they loving, what they in love with. When you first heard Lil Wayne, you heard the lyrics. We championed him on the win because he was holding down Cash Money. He was young. He was holding down the South. And not to mention when Manny was gone, and we was able to start hearing Lil Wayne over other people's beats. Just imagine if that would have never happened. Remember, Baby and Slim, they weren't fucking around with no other producers like that. It was all in-house. Whoever I did it was the perfect decision. I'm glad they did it, but to let Lil Wayne go free and start working with other producers. Because you know Cash Money, it was keeping it in-house. It wasn't none of that, okay, we're gonna fuck with such and such gonna do this beat. Nah. Baby and them won't fucking with that. But when it came to them Carters and all that, they had to jump out there and expand. And that was one of the most powerful and best decisions you could make, especially as a label. Even P was on there. Beats by the pound, beats by the pound, beats by the pound. That's all you had. And I understand it might have been some contractual or something. But when you're a creator, you gotta let your artists fly. Let them fly. See what they bring back. If that can be the analogy. Let them fly and see what they bring back. Listen to me. I said it's not that my hip hop was better than yours. But hey, shit, my hip hop was better than yours. Now see, I ain't trying to separate. Cause see, for every crank that Soldier Boy, there was the Humpty Dance. Whipping that nay, hitting the Quan to a dude on the corner in some tight ass Adidas pants and the B-boy stance. But see, we was hip hop. You see Salt and Pepper, MC Light, Queen Latifah all can hold their own. But see, y'all wanted Nicki to stand alone or by another female get knocked off the throne. Bone gave us harmony. Now what a coincidence. Cause see, now that sound like today's R&B. You see no more love ballads. Just a bunch of rap singing dudes talking about how high they want to get you and how they want to get the pussy. Listen to me. Snoop had his song Gin and Juice. The Chronic was finally introduced. Cash Money took over for the 99 and 2000, but her mama was already popping at the coochie for Luke. Hell, it's the truth. You see, it ain't nothing new to discover. All the way down to the fashion. To the artist never asking about these demonic ass symbols and borderline gay ass album covers. At the 70s started. Question. Why Jeffrey Osborne and LTD on them album covers ain't have on no shirts? Isley Brothers, Isaac Hayes, Al Green, all cleaned up like pimps. Go in your mama basement, wipe the dust off the records and do your research. To see the first to make me think or raise my fist. You see, it was Chuck and Chris. Red, black, and green before we saw the bitch's ass trying to tell us what time it is. Cause you rewind shit. See, I was one of them kids in the mirror with the broom. The voice of the streets. Hip hop used to keep us all in tune. See, I'm in love with the culture. I ain't one of them old heads that's stuck in the past. But lately, y'all been on some bullshit. Mainstream hip hop can kiss my ass. Man, these niggas trash. Only the real gon' last. Rap talk. That's that poem of peace. And that's written. That's written material. We live in a world with the laziness of people feeling that they can get juiced up off alcohol, off drugs, and just go in the studio, create, boof it up, throw that beat on, let's make this shit. That's why you see a lot of these rappers, they be rapping over their audio tracks and their lyrics. They don't be remembering them fucking raps, man. They don't be remembering them songs. That's why they do stuff like that at times. It's sad to say. They need that help. They need 3 different hype men to catch the lyrics when they don't remember their vocals. When they on stage running out of breath. But when you take your craft serious, it's things that you just not going to do. I mean, you can love it, display it however you want it. Be in it for the money, be in it for the moment, be in it for the bitches. Females can be in it for the dudes, be in it for the clothes, the trips. When you in it for the craft. I mean, don't get me wrong, we all want nice things and those things gonna come with it. Just like Dog say from Outlaws, what he say? If you in this rap game for the motherfucking cash, man, what is your motherfucking purpose? But when you love it, all them things gonna come regardless. Still providing the service. Still providing the outlet. This is therapy when we kick this shit. Especially when you do it right. Your shit gonna last forever. Your shit gonna be timeless. And the residual's gonna be forever. If you do it right and you touch the people right, but when it's a masses of people who feel that they don't have to write no more, it's just like, fuck it. I'm making these songs. I'm making this just to say I made it. I'm not up. No. Don't do that to the consumer. Then especially if you're an artist that came in the game writing, going hard and giving it that time, giving it that passion. Then all of a sudden you want to just reverse it and say, fuck it. Give it to y'all like this. That's some arrogant ass shit. But it is what it is. Thank y'all for tuning in. Poetry and Conversations. May get with y'all later in the evening. Talk about more hip hop news, trending topics, and see what's up. But leave your thoughts in the comments. I thank you for making it to the end of this video. Feel free to share it. Share the video to make the channel grow. Get with y'all in a minute. Rap Talk.